Hey, what's going on there, folks? Good afternoon, good evening. It is the Earthmaster here on this Monday night, April 10th, 2023. It's about 10:10 p.m. here along the west coast in the state of California. 1.5 off the coast of Morocco here. The latest earthquake showing up here on the earthquake map. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on here around the latest USGS map here. As we zoom in to the west coast area, not a whole lot of movement kicking up here across the west coast as noted here on the USGS map. We do have one earthquake up into the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. This earthquake coming in early this morning. It looks like a 1.8, 18 kilometers deep, about 2 o'clock in the morning. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of earthquake activity happening at the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. Let me see what we got here for the tremor activity. I'm kind of curious about that tonight. Again, 373 epicenters of tremor located here outside of Seattle, up into the, up here into the Strait of Juan de Fuca area. This area has been fairly active over the last couple days. This is where our tremor uptick has been located at over the past, I would say, 4 days or so. Has not moved anywhere, has not migrated. There is a little uptick here across the area as far as the tremor map and the interval map here goes, but so far it's been fairly moderate in terms of the tremor uptick. So we can kind of continue to monitor that, see how that plays out with the activity there up into the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Not a whole lot of earthquake activity occurring up there for now. In fact, nothing showing up here across the USGS map in that area. Down in Southern California, a couple spotty earthquakes across the San Jacinto fault zone. We got one earthquake here, very, very, very close. I say that because it's very close to the southern end of the San Andreas fault, a 1.1 coming in early this morning. No major swarms currently taking place here that would indicate some possible elevated movement there along the plate boundary. Just some very small microquake activity occurring in that area of the state. Up here in the Yellowstone area, well, this is kind of around the Hebgen Lake area. A couple of small microquakes from about, 5 o'clock this morning. Nothing major going on up there, but let's go ahead and check out the tremor map here for tonight. Well, that kind of loaded very quickly. Awesome. Looks like they may have gotten their server working efficiently. Not really seeing anything major going on up here across the Yellowstone area. No earthquake activity, no swarms going on. Very quiet up there at the super volcano there in Yellowstone. All right, movement across the Texas area earlier this morning. It looks like around the Stanton and the Pecos, Texas area, all seeing some elevated earthquake activity. And a lot of folks wondering why I mention the oil fields out here. This is definitely nothing political at all. So when I mention about these earthquakes occurring within these oil fields, wastewater disposal facilities, there is nothing political that I am trying to involve out here. So just answering one of the questions there, or comments, I should say, on my previous videos. It's a well-known fact. We can go back on many graphs, many statistics out here, and see that earthquake activity has been elevated due to the oil pumping operations out here and the wastewater disposal wells throughout Texas. And this is only one spot. We've seen uptick across Oklahoma, up in Alberta as well, in Canada. I'm not going to go into that tonight because I don't feel like getting my blood pressure elevated tonight. So, but that is what's going on out here. We see a lot of earthquake activity occurring within the oil fields out here of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Alberta, anywhere there is wastewater disposal wells. This is the last 30 days of earthquake activity here for Texas, and it's well within the vicinity of wastewater disposal wells and oil pumping operations up here. So, nothing political at all, but I'm not. I really didn't want to respond to that comment, but I felt like I needed to. But there's more proof than not that this is all related. All right, so thank you for the folks that replied in regards to this image right here. I was kind of stumped here, and I've been stumped here for over the past couple months or so. This is a huge solar wind farm, I guess. A lot of solar panels out here, I'm assuming. I appreciate the folks that did respond and kind of answered my question there. A little bit of earthquake activity directly underneath this region, the 3.3 earlier today at 3.4 kilometers deep. So, a lot of unusual earthquake activity occurring around the region there of Texas lately. Up into the Oklahoma area, some earthquake activity north of El Reno, Oklahoma. Again, you can see some of this activity in the checkered squares, indicating some potential oil pumping operations out here. This earthquake here outside of El Reno occurred in a field, 1.2 magnitude, 5.4 kilometers below the surface. So not for sure what's going on. It's, at least according to the satellite imagery, it was green vegetation at the time. Kind of hard to pinpoint when we got these wastewater disposal operations. They kind of move around, right? They dispose of it in certain locations there, mostly in the mountains and unpopulated areas. All right, let's see. Oklahoma is not up here to the north, right? Alaska. I apologize there, Oklahoma. Looking around this specific volcano up here, it looks like around the Dutch Harbor, Alaska area, getting in on quite a few earthquakes out here. There's Makushin Volcano. There's a couple different volcanoes up here across the area, but we're noticing a little earthquake swarm here over the last 24 hours. 42 earthquakes within this vicinity of this volcano. This is new activity kicking up. Also movement here across the Tanaga and the Takawanga volcano kicking up here in the earthquake swarming department as well. We haven't seen any major notification here from the USGS in regards to volcano activity up there. Everything looks as is far as typical activity goes. There's no major adjustment and no major change here across the volcano hazard map. I'm good, USGS, thank you. So things are just kind of continuing there. There's definitely a little bit of earthquake swarming mentioned at those volcanoes, but we'll continue to watch that. Little volcanic activity across the Kamchatka area. Oh man, I don't even know how to pronounce that volcano there, but it looks like early Tuesday morning sent up a little bit of ash cloud and ash plume 6 miles up into the sky, indicating a little increased threat to traffic from the Kamchatka Volcanic Eruption Response Team, KVERT, it looks like. The team issued a code red volcano observatory notice for the aviation, noting that the ash explosions could occur at any time. So this volcano is actually very active. It's been active throughout time. The last major eruption was back in 2007. So this area around the Kamchatka region, very active. As far as earthquake activity, I'm not really seeing anything major going on across the area of the Kamchatka Trench. It remains quiet for now, but that could be a little indicator of what's going on there beneath the surface with the volcanic eruptions there around the Kamchatka area. All right, let's see what else we got here across the area. The Java Trench, pretty active across the Sumatra area. 3s and 4s kicking off here. This area has been very active in terms of earthquake movement here, with swarming around the Andaman Sea. This is the last 7 days of earthquake activity. Got about 12 earthquakes of somewhat moderate magnitudes, 4s and 5s. And over the last day, shows continued mid-4 range here across the Nicobar Islands area of India, just outside the Andaman Sea region. So still watching this area pretty closely. It's relatively shallow earthquake movement, all of it is. There has been some upper 6s and lower 7 magnitudes here historically across the area. Around the Java Trench southward, of course, looks like that area has continued to see some elevated movement. There were some 4s and 3s across the area of the entire Java Trench. Nothing, though, showing up across the USGS model. All right, let's see the Vanuatu area. Mostly some moderate earthquake. Looks like 4s and 5s. We've seen that showing up here across the area. New Zealand, let's see what we got going on in New Zealand. Nothing really showing up here across the USGS map. But hey, let's check it out. GeoNet servers, right? Kind of have to check out the independent models here. 3.4, roughly about 4 hours ago, South Island. It was felt there near the, what was that, St. Anard area? Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. But aside from that, mostly smaller microquake activity, it looks like. Quick glance here of the earthquake drums here will probably show that earthquake down in the South Island area. Nothing big. It did show up on a few stations there, South Island, New Zealand area, but aside from that, no major movement there across the beautiful area of New Zealand for now. But still be on guard. Let's see what else we got here across the eastern Afghanistan area. 4.6 from earlier this morning, it looks like. Or no, actually, that's tonight. Earlier this evening. 203 kilometers deep for that earthquake. Showing up here off the globe. Very raised as far as the earthquake goes. In the Turkey area, seen quite a few 2s, 3s, and maybe even a 4 or so in that mix. Mediterranean looks very quiet for the most part across this region. There is a 4-pointer there in the Turkey area. Atlantic Ocean, fairly quiet for now, except for the 4.9 into the southern mid-Atlantic ridge from early this morning. South America area looks fairly quiet as well. Let me see what we got for the earthquake 3D model here. It does look pretty quiet. Mostly 3s up here on the middle section of the Peru-Chile Trench. 4s showing up around the Chile area. Middle America Trench up here, 4.0 coming in. This has been kind of a hot spot area, it looks like. There is the that's 4.7 from last night. Looks like there's a little bit newer activity there off the coast of Nicaragua area. Showing up on Earthquake 3D Globe. Some 2s and 3s out here around the Puerto Rico region. Things appear to be stabilizing across this area. It has been very active across the Caribbean plate here recently, but looks as though things are tapering off here slightly, so we'll continue to monitor that. One earthquake coming in here near the Parkfield area within the last couple minutes or so. That is on the creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault. Very shallow earthquake, 1.3 for a 1.3. Goodness, there's those numbers again, kind of coming in a little crazy. All right, aside from the movement around the volcanoes of Alaska, fairly active up here across the Cook Inlet area, up towards the Denali region, showing quite a bit of movement and stress up there right now. Nothing going on across the Big Island, except for a couple smaller microquakes in the area. No major changes, though, to note there across the Big Island area. Space weather movement. Let's go ahead and check out the solarham.net site. And we do have a couple larger sunspots that we are monitoring. 3272, which is rotating into the Earth view plane here with the sun. 3276 is a region to watch as well that did produce an M flare earlier. Let's see what we got for the most recent data here. Let's see. Looking fairly active here across 4 regions here of the sunspots. We've got one up here, northeastern side of the sun, one Earth-facing side of that sunspot, and also down here, of course, we got the bigger one, and on the southeastern limb of the sun, watching that pretty closely as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to watch these sunspots as they rotate in the view. That's going to be 3272, 3276, 3275, and 3273. Noteworthy of some flaring activity as we head into the middle of the week. 95% chance of a C flare, M flare at 35% chance. X flare somewhat elevated there at 5% chance of that probability. The UV filter here of the sunspots kind of show, I think for now, the main regional sunspot to watch is this area down here on the southeastern limb of the sun. Notice the polarities here and the brightness of that sunspot indicating some very active conditions. Definitely continue to watch that. Nothing going on across the auroras for now, folks. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint those that are looking for that activity. And the weather forecast out here along the west coast, we did hit 83 degrees here. Goodness, I was outside rototillering. Is that a word? And just trying to get the garden going. We're going to plant some seeds out here in a couple of days or so, but kind of had to stir up the ground a little bit, and it was a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. 83 degrees or so in Northern California. Things are going to cool down a little bit over the next few days with chances of rain, it looks like, towards the middle of April. And this is kind of way out there, but it is kind of pointing towards potentially a stronger system here. Looks like around the 20th to 21st time frame, bringing in some substantial rainfall here and snowfall once again to the Northern California area. Almost seems like an April Fool's joke, right? But no, it's not. This is definitely an odd winter, let me tell you. But any more precipitation will be beneficial here for the area. So this is around the 20th and 21st time frame. Looks like a somewhat, you could probably call it a bomb cyclone because of that low pressure reading here off the coast of California. It looks fairly impressive. So we'll continue to watch that. After that, looks as though things may remain unsettled. So, goodness. For April, end of April, it's very odd, these conditions that we're leading into right now, as far as the weather patterns go here for the West Coast. It's almost unprecedented here, as far as the cooler, stormier weather that we've seen here along the West Coast. All right, anything else going on out here, folks? Welcome to the new members out here. 5 days until we do our member giveaway. So if you want to be included in a monthly drawing, you got to be a member out here on the channel. We do have let me kick this off here real quick. We're going to give a shout out to our members. It's been a while. I know it's been a while since I've given a shout out to our active members. So let's see here. Let me see what we got here. Stand by for just a second. All right, so let me bring this back up here and show you guys our members. Going to give a shout out to the folks here. These are all super fans. We have a couple different levels of members. Super fans are our lowest member, but they are still obviously included into our monthly updates, or monthly drawings, I should say. So Ruth is our newest member here, 4 days ago. Linda Eaton, looks like a month ago. JJ, thanks for checking in. Grace Johnson, superfan member. Ambrosia95, Stormy Hawkins. Crystal Robinson, thank you for being a member here. The Green Laser, all right, I like that. Superfan member for 16 days, Candace Love, thank you very much for being a member of this channel. Alan, thank you as well. Unimportant Entertainment, I'm guessing is the name of that channel. Thank you as well for being a member. Lilu as well, thank you. Dinzian of the Ages, thank you for being a member of this channel, and also a winner there of our past member drawings. Missy Mimi's, of course, is our moderator, and my fiance as well. Linda, thank you for checking in. Matthew Dittman, Elizabeth Warman, Lucy Maker, Purple Bullet, longtime member, coming up here at 8 months. Timothy as well, thank you very much there. Timothy, a moderator here on this channel, and an awesome person with a lot of information there for New Zealand. I do appreciate Timothy very much. A super fan member for 5 months. Craig England, thank you. Jess Services. I'm not for sure how to pronounce that, but hey, this is gaining attention here, just pointing this out. Being a super fan there for 2 months, I do appreciate that member. Melanie Fisher, thank you very much, 8 months. What is that? Bafaz 262. Thank you very much for being a member on this channel. Helen Horn, super fan. Alicia Stansford, thank you very much as well, 8 months. Christopher, I believe that's Christopher Henderson, I think. Either way, appreciate that member as well. Laura Bonnet, Dean Baumberger, Clayton, Hurricane Heather, local up here in Northern California. We appreciate you very much. Janice Seiler, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Gino James, Mike Moses, we got quite a few people in here. Joycelyn, Catherine Pours Peace. She was our latest winner here last month. Superfan member and winner of last month's drawing. Dolores Venezuela. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Hopefully. I've been out in the sun rototilling all day, so excuse me if I am off of my pronunciations here tonight. Pamela Hamilton, Judy Menzel, Betty Kelly, Nancy Kozlowski, Maria Park. We're getting into our long-term members here. John Didier, Debash Mode, Joelle Kozlowski, Mike Delaney, Pamela Conley, Ray Annington, Hope and Feathers, Robert Kozlowski, Rob52, Jay Fuentes, and our longest standing member here is Albert Sanchez Jr. Goodness, we appreciate you, Albert, 100% there. And Albert's got a good cause there with his leading in life. But yeah, so 54 people. It looks like we lost a few folks out here, but hey, you know, it comes and goes. And these folks, 54 people, will be entered into our member drawing here in looks like 5 days. We'll give out some prizes there to the members only. It's kind of a benefit. Plus, extra perks, extra videos. They're kind of the ones that get notified on what's going on with us here as far as location activities go. Or we try to give our members a first look at our on-location activities, and you know, it's kind of a good deal. I definitely, if I was out there, I would subscribe to me. I think. I don't think that's too cringy, right? I would probably subscribe, you know, to a YouTube channel. Of course, I am subscribed to quite a few YouTube channels out here. to those that I watch, and just kind of want to be notified on some important events. So that's what it's all about out here. All right, let's see. I think that's about it, folks. I am burnt. I was burnt yesterday. I'm a little bit sunburnt today from the rototillering, the garden activities that I'm doing here today. So, yeah. Plus a barbecue. And doing numerous other things here around the house. So, I think I'm definitely cooked, so to speak. If anyone knows that term, they know that you're pretty much done. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna bounce out of here and just be quiet. Again, welcome to the new subscribers, new members. Definitely make sure you subscribe here to this channel so you can get notified on the latest updates here as far as earthquake activity and whatnot goes. We do provide factual information here, not hearsay. Hearsay, obviously hearsay is not in terms of evidence and whatnot here in court, court systems, trials. Hearsay is not really introduced in the courts unless you have a certain reason for it. But again, that's something I'm kind of studying in college right now. So not only geology classes, but we're studying American justice for a couple classes here in the springtime. Kind of cool, I think, studying evidence classes. All right, alrighty, I'm going to bounce out of here, guys. I will be quiet. Have a good evening. We'll catch you guys back here a little bit later on. Peace out.